One Vacuum and Sewing's live stream for
Good morning.
Wednesday, the 12th of October. Are you ready?
For?
You were like, "Oh my God, it's that time already?"
I was still, you know, you were being a lion and I was being a squirrel looking for my nuts.
I wasn't. I was tagging stuff and doing work stuff.
Yeah, I'm then telling him, you need to.
Jeannie's been in a mood for like a week. I told the kids over the weekend, I was like, watch out.
Yeah.
And then at some point over the weekend, I heard something going on with Kai and I heard, "Excuse me?" And I was like, uh-oh. I went into his room. I was like, what happened? This is what happened. And I was like, okay, well, so in that circumstance, you were wrong and you need to apologize to your mom.
I love Patrick almost always, unless it's not warranted, he always has my back.
I mean, there are times I don't.
There are
Like,
times
every now and then I'm like, almost never in front of the kids, but every now and then I'm like, that was out of line. The kids weren't wrong.
Yeah, he runs interference for us. Don't you? I have a good one. I have a good husband. And I have he's the most amazing father.
Oh, that's a really,
like the
really,
most
really,
amazing
really
father.
sweet thing to say.
Well, you are. So, when I fall short, I know Patrick always does and says the right things with them. I'd say 99% of the time. 99.9% of the
example.
Oh, you had
the best dad.
Yeah.
Ever. My dad had been through it all before. Like my dad had my siblings are 20 and 21 years older than me. So my dad had seen it all before and he was old and tired. And I understand now. Like why does
that make you a great dad? If I
was I think about stuff that I did with the kids when I was in my like late 30s, in my early 40s. I imagine, because if I was my dad, Kai would be 5.
Okay.
He'd be 4.
Yeah.
And if I'd done it all before, like if I'd been through this all before and I was as tired as I am now with kids, I'd be that much less likely to react. Like it takes a lot to get me to be reactive anyways.
I'd be like, here, let's go watch TV and here's the iPad. If I had a little kid right now.
No, but like I totally get like because my dad had seen it all before.
Here's the bone. Don't tell Daddy.
He'd raised a girl. He'd raised I think a pretty challenging boy. Ned, if you're watching this, I think you were a challenge. From everything I've heard from everybody. And I was a pretty easy kid. Like I was really good at not getting caught. And so and I think my dad also had a young wife my dad ran a lot of interference because it was her first time for everything. And she was pretty fired up. So
your mom is pretty fired up.
Oh, my mom.
I can't even imagine.
She's feisty.
My dad's parlance, he'd go, "She's a tough broad."
That's what your dad would say about her.
No, my mom. I don't think my mom watches this, but Mom, if you do, I have nothing but respect for you. But like, my mom's like literally like the proverbial like coal miner's daughter. Like, and she was the president. By the time she literally started at a hospital, like ground floor, worked her way into secretary. When she retired from the hospital, she was the president. I mean, who
Human
does that?
Resources, right?
You have to have some
Who does that?
His mom.
No college education, nothing. That's sheer will and tough broadedness.
Yes, she is a tough
She's
broad.
a tough broad. She's no pushover.
Nope.
And so my dad ran a lot of interference.
Because this one's pretty strong-willed too.
Yeah,
So you get that from your mom.
I totally get that from my mom.
Yep.
But like, I'm strong-willed when it counts. Like, I have days. I mean, we all have days. I don't think I have that many days.
You don't have that many days.
Well, where I'm like, it's rare to catch me every now and then I have a day where I'm like, what the hell am I doing here? like, none of this is worth it.
Patrick, stop that!
It's
You're
true. We
all
all
worth
have
it.
those days.
You're
Come
worth
on.
it, ladies.
We're all family here, right? Like this is not news for anybody. Come on, you've all woken up and looked at the person next to you and been like, "What the hell?" I mean, it happens at the store sometimes. No, like, come on, like, overall, like, this is
That's
like,
what you said. You wake up and look at the person next to you and go, "What the hell?"
come on, you've never done that.
And
Yes.
never looked at you and thought
Oh,
that.
that's not true.
No, I always look at you and go, "I'm so lucky."
Well, then you are really lucky. No, I'm like, this is all in jest, but like, come on, everybody's had that moment. Like
In life.
Oh yeah, like, you cannot tell me you haven't looked at me and been like, this freaking guy. You sure as heck have made me feel that way sometimes. Like,
All right. Anyways, okay.
sometimes you
Let's,
get up on the wrong bed, the side of the bed. All of us.
Yeah, most of the time I just laugh everything off because I know how happy I make him and that
You
I'm
ask
his
the
one
ladies
and
how
only.
often they think I'm in the doghouse.
He's in the doghouse sometimes.
You guys think I'm in the doghouse all the time.
You know why? Because sometimes he doesn't do what I tell him to do when I tell him to do it. If he would be more obedient, he wouldn't be in the doghouse so often. He needs to be a better listener and do as he's told. And then it would just be, that would make my life so much easier too. Like today, he said, we're driving separately. I go, I go, you said you'd stay late with me tonight. And he goes, I'm not staying that late.
I go, I'm not staying till 10.
I was like, I'm not either. And we're driving together. So I made him drive with me today, although he didn't want to. Okay, couple of things that I've been meaning to talk about. Like Momo does. Is Momo in the doghouse? Momo's never in the doghouse.
Even when Momo was bad when
Last
we got home
night
yesterday.
we got home, and usually we just go right into the house. And I'm like, okay, let's go. And he starts, and then he turns around, and he's like, and some of you have seen him, he's like, oh, whoa, 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 and starts running. And there was
a couple walking a dog.
Walking with their dog. So he saw their dog, and there was like nothing. That's never happened with me outside. He's 2. Because we live on a really quiet street, and nobody's ever around.
We live right on a path. And there are people always walking in the front.
Never, yeah. So he hasn't done that, and I felt horrible. Cause
They were fine.
They were fine, but still,
were
that's
fine.
that's
It
scary
sucks.
when a dog runs at you and is barking like that. And he just went, ran
Yeah,
at them,
like-
and then started playing with their dog. But I felt really, you should not have to, you shouldn't be worried about that, going on a walk. It's not the 70s. In the 70s.
We used to. I grew up was a really serious bike racer, and so I spent a lot of time on a bike, and there were so
country
many
roads in
dogs
Pennsylvania.
that chased us, and we knew where they were. So like you were like ready for it. You're like, okay, here it comes. Like we gotta go fast. Here, all right, John, go, 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 go. Like you'd like run. We named them like there was one on Shingletown Road. We named him Sick Balls, which is from the movie Stand By Me.
Oh, I did. I don't. Is that the dog? Is
No,
there a
well,
dog
so
on
there's a
that?
dog. There's a scene in that movie where there's a dog where they think that the guy who owns a junkyard trains the dog to sick balls, and so there's a
okay.
scene where the dog is running and they're running, and the guy's like, I have no idea what the guy said, but all I heard was like sick balls.
So you would call that dog.
So we called that dog.
Yeah, if we left Momo out all the time, number one, he would definitely chase bicyclists. I think he would chase cars.
I don't think he'd chase cars.
Just bicyclists.
I wouldn't want to. I don't even know if he would really chase bicyclists.
Yeah, because I hike him and they just go right by and he doesn't do anything. I want you to know it's not if we take him off lead all the time, and it's only at home and the store that he does that because he's protective of those areas.
Yeah, we reached out to the breeder, and she's like, you have to remember you bought a dog from a breeder of active working dogs. Like,
so
they're
we saw
bred
that
for
we
this.
had a Australian in the store the other day that was the sweetest.
I think if we walked into somebody else's store, Momo would be just like that.
he
Like
would
he
be
wouldn't
fine.
be like running around barking at people. He's like, this is my store.
Yeah.
And it's funny because he barks and he's scary, but his like tail is wagging. I'm like, at one point we had a friend that came over and like he barked and then he ran and got a squeaky toy and he was like squeaking the toy at the guy but still barking. And
we need to shove a toy in his mouth.
and I'm like, this is what we need to do every time is we just need to put a squeaky toy in his mouth because then it's like it's
not
really
scary.
funny.
Then it's not scary. Okay, a couple of things that I've been meaning to talk to you about. Is there somebody? All right, I started a spreadsheet, and I cannot find the spreadsheet. I have been looking for my spreadsheet, but I started this spreadsheet.
It's a nut. She's lost her nut.
I lost that nut. But the spreadsheet was customer referrals. And I started it so if you have some kind of business.
Do you know the name of the customers that you had on there?
I do know some of the people on there.
Yeah, so just do a search in Sheets for one of the customers' names.
I did not even think of that.
This
Okay.
is why she needs to talk to me sometimes.
I love talking to you all the time. So because I have a couple people like if you do certain things because I like to spread the love around. So if you are a quilter or if you like we have people that come in and they're looking for people to tailor. They are looking for people to do upholstery. They're looking, cushions, things like that.
Oh, yeah, that guy from the cleaners can hire 3 people.
Yeah.
Cool.
So if you do any of that kind of stuff, shoot me an email. I will find that spreadsheet and I'll add you to the spreadsheet. A lot of times I take pictures of your business card or I take a business card and I put it up front. And we just,
And that
and
way
then when
we just
people
have
come
them
in,
take pictures of it on their phone.
so we would love to support any of you that are, making a go of this, doing a small business, doing stuff on the side. So I had a couple of people come in. I have 3 to talk to you about. So there's one gal whose mom just passed away. And she found 42 squares with stars that she wants put together as a quilt. So I don't know if there's anyone listening that would consider that. But she's looking for somebody to complete a quilt
To
for
finish
her.
her mom's quilt.
Oh my goodness, how many UFOs am I going to have?
Catholic Charity's going to be so excited.
The kids will want that stuff. What if I'm like,
Kai's
tomorrow?
Kai's gonna be like, I don't want that stuff. I don't like.
Neither of my kids will want
I have
it.
a son who's incredibly into the minimalist ethic.
Wow. Like you wouldn't even, he's like, I need 5 pairs of pants. I need 4 shirts. I need 3 long sleeve shirts. And anytime we try to buy him something else, he's like,
He's
don't,
mad.
he's mad. He doesn't want, how
That's
great
awesome.
is that?
You buy
How
him
great
clean
is that?
stuff. He was excited about the feather duster.
He was, yes.
Right, but it's got to have a purpose.
Yeah,
if it
it's
doesn't
gotta
have
have
a
a
purpose, he
purpose.
doesn't want it.
Uh-huh. He goes, why do I have that? I don't want it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the other thing I had is, this is another quilt that needs to be repaired. I had another gal who has a tacked quilt. I don't know. I think they're tied. And it needs to be repaired. So I thought I'd put it out there in the live feed. If you are one of those person that might do either of these, let me know. And then finally, I did receive a call from Bobby Page. They're the dry cleaners.
The dry
here in town.
cleaners, yeah.
And they are looking for
Seamstresses.
they're looking for some people to do light alterations. And then they're looking for somebody that's a bit more experienced. So I think they're looking for 2 people that could do light alterations. And then they're looking for another person who would be more, maybe if you could do alterations on a wedding dress or suits or things that are going to be more, take a little more skill, I guess. So I have a number for you. If anyone's interested in any of this stuff, let me know. I just told them that I'd mention it in the live feed because maybe we could make a little love connection somewhere with somebody looking for some extra side work and somebody looking for some
It'd be
extra
better
help.
to like reach out to us directly. Like if you comment on the live feed, we don't often have an opportunity to go back through those comments. So like if we were to see them right now, but if you are hearing this, just reach out to us at the store, drop us an email. And
Yeah, kids
we'll let
don't
you
want our old stuff anymore.
So
You know what my kids are fighting over? The wooden spoon, the one I beat them with. I'm just kidding. I didn't beat them with it. It's like our favorite.
my mom used to hit me with a wooden spoon.
You deserved it. Oh my! I
don't like that happens so rarely, but one time she broke the spoon, and I was like old enough to be like,
because it broke on your muscles. You're so muscular.
well, no, like it was just like one of those things. Like
must
it's
have-
like
she was
my
going for it.
freaking mom like works so hard. My dad
And then
was
she had
old
to
school.
deal with,
Yeah,
like,
my dad was
Matthew.
old school, like and like like he believed in like cocktail hour and like hors d'oeuvres, and like my poor mom worked till like
He was
7
like
every
Mad
night.
Men, right? Your
He's
dad.
from that generation, My dad would have been
I've never watched
90.
the show, so
My dad would have been 90, 45. My dad would have been 92 now. So he was older, you
Yeah.
know.
than your mom for sure.
94. Now
Yeah.
that I'm saying it. Yeah.
The wooden spoon. The wooden spoon we have is just our favorite cooking wooden spoon.
I can't remember who it was, but somebody was telling me, like, I was like, because I, as far as my memory, like, I think I got spanked twice.
In your whole life?
My dad spanked me once, and I remember why he spanked me, and I totally deserved it. I said something mean to my grandmother. And then I said something to my mom once, and my dad got me that one. I was old enough, where it was just, I didn't do that stuff. And when I did, I
Made you think.
definitely made me think. And then I commented at one point that, I think I got spanked twice by my mom. One time by a wooden spoon, and it broke. She hit me, the wooden spoon just broke, and I just burst out laughing. And then but I said something to somebody about that, and Stephanie commented on getting hit with the fly swatter.
I got hit with the fly swatter too.
So here's what's crazy though. Somebody said something about that, and I was like, a fly swatter, that wouldn't hurt. And the person goes, no, the wire end of the fly swatter.
Maybe it was me. My dad beat my feet with the wire end of the fly swatter.
And I was like, whoa.
The bottoms
yeah.
of my feet. I don't know.
Koreans are crazy. The book thing. How many kids told us stories about having to hold the book up?
Like this.
or like this, like heavy books.
I never had to heal and kneel on rice.
Yeah,
Kneel on rice.
It's a very common thing when Jeannie hangs out with Korean kids for them to talk about the various ways that they were abused.
I know, right? That's just how it was. I think they had it even worse.
I don't
right?
know.
Our parents had it even worse. And like for us, our parents grew up during the Korean War. So I think times were tough. What's a chancla?
Chancla? That's a like a flip flop. A flip flop.
Oh, I tried to. Why do you hold the book? You're just supposed to hold it in your arms.
No, you sit in the corner and you hold a book up, and if you drop the book, you get into even bigger trouble.
Because it's hard to like hold it up for a long time. Your arms get tired. Yep. I never had to do that. Big wooden spoons, or they would get. Yeah.
Mexican weapon. It's a flip flop.
I spanked my kids. I tried to spank my kids, and then the one time was just laughable. It's like me doing a high five. I like barely connect. And then the other time, I spanked Violet. It was her bare butt, and like I swatted her, and it left a handprint. And I was like, oh, I'm never gonna do that again. And then we didn't spank. We just used timeout. It worked with our kids. We would, Kai, before the words were even out of your mouth, would run right over to timeout and sit there super obediently.
Start crying and like go take
Violet would.
She'd fight.
She would fight. She would not want, and she rarely got. She's a girl, right? Girls.
No, she spent as much time in there as
she
Kai.
did not. She barely. But timeout was effective.
It was.
That's all we did was timeout, and.
All our family secrets served for like forever. Okay, it's 9:53.
Oh, sorry
we actually
about that. All right, sorry.
My mother used a yardstick. How many? Like I've heard so many stories about people picking switches, where you're like, do I pick the big stick that like? Or do I pick the little stick?
In our house, it was just like whatever you were
whatever
just dodging.
Was close by.
It might come flying at you, and you just dodge it. You'd hope to dodge it. That was anyhow. Okay, so we're all okay, right?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, we're all okay. So we don't have anything to talk about. We're gonna be reaching out to some people, make sure that everyone knows about their upgrades.
Yeah, I had somebody reach out to me yesterday, and it's funny because we did send out kind of a large group email, but I had somebody that reached out to me yesterday that was like, I just wanted to make sure I was on the list. And I was like, I sent an email on Friday. And so every now and then somebody's security settings, because they are group emails to, BCC.
So maybe email. If we have time, we'll start calling.
So sometimes they get screened out. We literally, and we've got to go through it, but this is it. Like, we've got the ability to order those bundles by Friday.
Yep. So we're going to be reaching out.
And it's funny because, like, normally if they say Friday, I don't want to test it, but normally if they say Friday, it's like I can still get an order in next week. But
we're
this
not
is
testing
but
it.
This is our Redux order. So, like, we haven't called you, Rolo, because we got, I think everybody that was on the list for the
Luminaire, where they're still we haven't called everyone because we're
Luminaire
still
coming
getting
in
them.
5 or 10 at a time. Baby Lock sent them all at once, and so Audrey for her Solaris. So we needed to call you anyways because I just got your luggage, Audrey. So
yes, and we have the. Do we still owe Audrey the hoop?
Yeah.
So we have your hoop, your luggage, and your Solaris upgrade. Yeah. So you should be good to go. I will I'll grab all of that before I forget.
So we did have like last week at the end of the week, the store's been kind of crazy. Like it was like kind of slow, and then the last like I'd say 5 consecutive business days have been a madhouse.
Yeah, it's been a madhouse.
So anybody who's been in the store over the last 5 days can attest. It's been like 4 or 5 customers deep for hours. And so like yesterday it was like that till probably 2:30. We were digging out until almost 5:30 when we had to leave to go pick up Momo. So
I didn't stay late last night, so if I didn't do something, Patrick dragged me out early.
well, but part of the point that I'm making is we are like, it feels like we went from like super caught up. We were getting machines back in 2 to 3 days. Now I'm telling people roughly a week. We are losing DAX for 3 weeks at the end of the month. So we've got them for like roughly another week or so. So better to get your machine to me now than to get your machine to me before the end of October or the first 2 weeks of November. Max is backfilling, so we should do a decent job of keeping things caught up. But it's been really busy. So sooner than later is the better rule. Do we have any classes, anything else to discuss other than
tomorrow
what
is
most people consider child
tomorrow's
abuse?
gonna be. I know, right? It's fun talking about that. Everyone's like has a story. It's not fun. It's not fun living it, but we all have a story, right? So tomorrow's the poinsettia class. So get your panel layered. Do not use fusible and do not wash it, and just have it layered and ready to go. And then I think we talked yesterday kind of about classes. And don't forget, I am doing that pre-order for the events up. So the new Kimberbell event, this sweet one fine day or summer, spring or something. Do you like that? That's up. And then also the Cuties Volume 2 toppers. I think that's up too. And I'm going to be kitting that out. So all of that is up on the site now. It's all under promotions. It's not under pre-orders. I get confused.
So just as a reminder, and this is going back to the upgrade and the upgrade bundle. I mean, the upgrade bundle is a crazy deal. At that price, it is a crazy deal. That said, we've been preparing people for this, but when the upgrade bundles are over, they're over this time. And it's $2,500 worth of stuff. You're getting it for, essentially round up to $1,100. It is a fantastic deal. This is like the fourth time that person has called. So it is a great deal, but when it's done, it's done. We need to, in the next day or two, part of the reason we're going to be staying late tonight is I've got to get through and kind of figure out what's going on with the baby lock bundles. I bought like 5 or 6 extra, and then I think those 5 or 6 extra are gone. And so we may buy a couple of them. But if there's anybody that's like sitting on the fence, get off the fence.
Yeah, get it.
Like
it's worth it.
It's like Jeannie and Michelle every day talk about some new feature that they're learning on their bundle.
And Michelle's been posting, I think she posted 2 videos yesterday, and she posted, I think, or is going to post one today. The last thing that she did, which was so cool, was the tapering stitch. And you just use your endpoint sticker. And so if you want to do something like, right in your sashing, put your endpoint sticker, it takes your design, and then it tapers it to the end. And then it starts off tapers, and then it's really, really cool. So, and then you can do it with other things. Like she made like a snowflake with it too, which was really, really neat. So, the quilt size, I think it's 40 by 40. I'm not positive. I just saw shipping confirmation on my instructor kit. Those are on YouTube. If you look up, go to our YouTube page, and I think you can either look up Upgrade 3 or you could look up Technique Tuesday. She's been posting them in there, and they're really cool. She's working today on the thick stitch. There's like a couching. Stitch. Well, she's going to do long stitch, and she's also doing the couching. There's a new font, and you use yarn, and it couches it on top. It's beautiful.
So and
she's
that
doing
that long, the like big embroidery she did with the bee was amazing too.
The long embroidery with the bee was absolutely
So here's the point. When the bundles are over, they're over. And now you're talking about $2,500 worth of stuff. And look at the size of that.
And
like,
this was
is,
all Pattern Connect. So this
but these are designs
what,
that are
almost
built into the machine.
30 inches, 20.
Yeah. So, you know,
So
a couple of
pretty.
people have been like, is there a bigger hoop? And the answer is no. But it's the biggest built-in embroidery designs of any machine in the market. And the designs are gorgeous. The point we're making is I'll probably buy a couple of extra, but don't wait. 'Cause it's,
Wasn't that gorgeous? And
Yeah.
it was Pattern Connect. Like it's seamless. You can't even tell where one hooping ends and the other one begins. And I think she demos it with the new 10 by 10 hoop, which is such a
It's built
fantastic
for that.
size.
Yeah,
It's a
built for it.
fantastic size. So, and super stable. Like, the clamps and the way it goes on, it's super stable
That's what makes
and it's
those,
just gorgeous.
those hoops super
Yeah.
nice.
So, I think we're good, right?
I think so.
Have a great day. Be creative and make something incredible. And we'll see you back here tomorrow.
What deep dark family secret are we going to expose tomorrow?